We're live on Instagram. My name is Rick Noda. I'm your host here at T3 Talks, where at T3 Body, we tighten, tone, and transition. Now, today, you guys, is Wednesday, and Wednesday to me is the day you guys know I wear black, because Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I wear black. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I wear gray.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
So if you were wondering, thanks to 511 for keeping me neat and tidy. And as always, you guys, Panic and Coffee, what powers me. You guys, what's kind of cool about Wednesday and with April, we're constantly building on the harvest. And as we're harvesting, that harvest starts with what I think everybody and every sport does. We start from the top, or we start from the head, and we work our way down to our toes. If you think about it, as a nurse, we do what's called a head-to-toe assessment. When you want to start a task, you start from the top and you work your way down, sometimes from the list. So when we start from the top, or from the head, that's what leads us into a healthy brain. Now, most of what we're going to talk about today, you guys, is from my friend Dr. Amen, and it's like and we're going to cover over the next few days the 12 prescriptions to create a more healthy brain and healthy lifestyle. We're going to put a reference there to the article so you can see all the 12 different prescriptions. Today, we're going to cover 3, and each of the following days leading up to Monday, we're going to cover the next 3. If you think about your brain, you guys, your brain, and why I talk about a healthy brain is because your brain makes up about, it's only 3 pounds, all right? But I say only 3 pounds, but it requires like 20% of the nourishment that you normally need, So I sometimes tell everybody, like, hey, as a rule of thumb, on your daily recommended nutrition that you need to take in, like mine, for example, is 1,900, about 500 calories of that is just designated to my brain. The other thing about a healthy brain, and in order to keep that brain healthy, is you got like 20% of that is there to help for you just breathing, and then the other 25% can help with oxygen flow. So your brain's a really important part in why you want to keep it healthy and optimal. Let me tell you a little story about how the military keeps your brain healthy. Now, what's nice is when a Marine goes away to recruit training, they basically disconnect themselves from everything. There's no TV, there's no influences, anything like that. So the brain actually goes through a very good detox. Now, while you're in recruit training, you're eating healthy foods, as closest to the ground to your plate. It's not as plant-based as I would like, but again, it's getting there. Now, the amount of movement and activity that you're doing fuels the body. But what most people don't really know is that when you're in recruit training, they put you to bed right around 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock, you're in bed, and you're loving going to bed at 8 o'clock because you were up at 3, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, but you're getting ample amounts of sleep. So that's a nice way of a simple way of keeping your brain healthy. Now, let's go through the 3 prescriptions that specifically Dr. Amen talks about. We kind of touched on the first one already. It's love your brain, you guys. I'm not here to kind of, preach or tell you what's right or wrong. But here's what we know. We know from study after study, fast food, no bueno. We know the fact that high saturated fat foods, no bueno. We know the fact that huge amounts of sugar layered on top of more sugar, layered on top of more sugar, no good. To me, that's 3 strikes. So if you get rid of just those 3 items in your diet, all right, you're loving your brain just a little bit more. You're taking away some of the fog that you're feeling. Now, the other thing about loving your brain is that you've got to love it enough to sleep, get restful sleep. There goes that sleep hygiene again. Preparing yourself to go to bed, allowing yourself to reduce stimulants for about 20 or 30 minutes, allowing yourself to listen to cool, relaxing music before you go to bed. Create this ritual. If you think you can't go to sleep, go to bed at 8 o'clock, lay in bed, and for the first few days, you may lay there till 2 o'clock in the morning. But again, eventually your body is restarting or detoxing. And believe it or not, you're loving your brain because you're not filling it with stimuli and you're not filling it with just information. You're letting the body decompress. The second thing is about a healthy brain, you guys. is let's talk about brain reserve. Brain reserve is something that we have a little bit of control about and a little bit of not control about. First thing about brain reserve is, hey, how was your mother in the womb? Was your mother smoking Marlboros, drinking whiskey? That has a tendency to see what type of healthy brain genetically you were given. The other thing is, were you a Marine like me? Did you suffer huge amounts of concussions? Were you with artillery, 5th Battalion, 11 Marines, as a radio operator and have a squelch in your head and boom, having charge go off? How many explosions have you've been through in your lifetime? How many football players have been through concussions related to hard impacts? So on, and maybe just falling off your bunk bed playing Dungeons and Dragons. Whatever that is, that breakdown is that of brain reserve is soft tissue that allows for us to remember. It's soft tissue that allows for us to keep our thoughts clearer. The less soft tissue we have, the less brain reserve we have. The more soft tissue we have, the more brain reserve you have. As I'm having a very good hair day here, you could tell. All right, I'm going to talk about number 3, which is protect your brain. Now, you got to protect your brain, you guys. If you're getting on a bicycle and you're a cyclist like myself, I always put a helmet on. If you're out playing baseball, they're starting to get into, making sure that you wear a helmet. So you're, again, even on the base path sometimes when we were in the pros, they used to not wear helmets on the base path. They used to take them off. You've seen that they've adopted that even pro guys are wearing their helmets now in baseball. The other thing about protecting your head again is from heat. Put the schmeg on, put a hat on. If you're living a very deserty climate, got to protect the top of your head from burning and from, getting that, what I call that brain boil, 115 degrees out in that desert, man. Woo! That's going to do it to you. But what's nice about this prescription, all right, and what's nice that what Dr. Amen is showing us is this. Everything that we do we're in the medical community, or everything we try to do when we're trying to problem solve, starts from the head and works all the way down to the toe. And if we start with loving our brain a little bit more, eating foods that we know we're supposed to eat, getting the sleep that we need, if we work on that brain reserve, making sure that, again, that we're making sure we're not getting hit in the head, we're protecting the head, we're allowing ourselves to just let the body recharge, we'll let the mind do what it's supposed to do: lose weight, reduce stress, perform better in the gym, perform better at work, because the brain becomes efficient. So when I say our motivation inspires you to be better, you guys, stay tuned for me as we continue on this April harvest to make your body more and your brain more efficient. I want to say thanks, everybody. And as I'm drinking my Joey coffee, you guys, that oil making my brain lubricate with those ketones. See you guys soon. Rick Noda, host here at T3 Body, where we tighten, tone, and transition. To get a hold of me, check me out at info@T3BodyEncinitas.com or on our social networks, Instagram at T3BodyEncinitas, Facebook, we're still under that CaliFit WKO, that's our non-for-profit, and check us out and subscribe on our YouTube channel. We are T3 Talks, where our motivation inspires you to be better. See you at my next podcast.